Okay everyone, welcome to this episode. I was just eating my dinner, or my dessert for dinner, and I saw that my results just got released for the studio assessment. I got the results released, so I thought I wanted to share it with you guys, considering I really want to just be completely transparent with you guys about my education and give you guys an insight into architecture school. And because I showed my studio assessment, I actually showed myself presenting this project, so I thought it might be helpful just to show my grade. I'm not entirely confident in it, so we shall see how this goes, but yeah, let's go and open it up. Let's just get straight into it. I should better give my speculations. In South Australia, the way we do it is we have high distinctions at the very top. We've got distinctions just below that. So that's around 75 to 85. And then credit is about 65 to 74, I think it is. And then you've got pass 1 just below credit. And then a pass 2 is 50 to 54. And anything below that, there's different types of fails and stuff as well, but I don't expect to fail this. So I'm kind of thinking, as a speculation, hoping for at least a credit. So 65 to 75%. I know that I did stuff up some things, as in I didn't show much of the internal space for my assessment, and I didn't give too much thought to the construction. Overall, it was a pretty difficult assignment because this was when, I guess, coronavirus just hit, and so none of us really knew exactly what was going on. I was just working from home. I was a bit confused with the whole brief and everything, and all the students kind of just went their own ways and took their own view, I guess, on the assignment, and kind of just adapted their own skills, their own ideas behind the brief to create their own ideas, I guess. So with that said, I'm thinking probably a credit, but we shall see. Let's open her up. Assessments. Hat plus map. Here we go. So I'm going to scroll down and it will show me my grade. Show you guys my grade. Wish me luck. Type in the comments good luck if you want me to have some good luck, but we shall see. And as I always say, I'm not caring too much what my grade is. I honestly probably couldn't care less what my grade is. It's always nice to see a good grade because it kind of reflects the work you've put into a project. However, saying that, if I have a bad grade, really I'm just going to be focusing on the feedback and any development points my teachers have given me to move on for the next assignment, because this is just the first part of this assignment, so any feedback would be awesome. And yeah, let's go have a look at it, shall we? Credit, there we go. So that pretty much sums up my speculation. I know I stuffed up a couple of things. I will have a look at this feedback sheet, and that should hopefully tell me some things I can do to better my project with the next submission. So there should be some words down here as well that will give us a bit of help. So I will go through this criteria individually, I guess, in my own time, because it might take a bit too long to do it on here. Things like sophistication of planning solution on the lower end. That's what I was saying. I didn't really think about the internal spaces too much, or the actual design of the master plan, which, now that I think about it, is probably the main thing of the assessment. That's something I struggled with. I have started to replan my solution, I guess, as well for the next assignment. I showed that to my teacher and he's liking that I am starting to change it up. Strategies for passive heating, cooling, shading, water collection and all this stuff, that makes sense. I have an open canopy, so there are no walls, and it doesn't really consider the site in regards to these passive strategies too much. So I've started to close up my design, and it's really starting to incorporate the orientation, shading devices, and how the design actually sits within the environment and is reacting to the spaces around it. Some other things is response to climate. That's the same idea. So I've started to address these things that are on the lower end. Appropriate level of technical information. That's what I was saying earlier, where I just didn't really have the construction stuff really just delved into. I left out a lot of information on that topic. So moving forward, that's something I'm going to start working on. Then all the other things are pretty average, I'd say. Some of the merits were the evocative and engaging presentation and the professional verbal presentation. So I think they did like my video, as it was something unique, and maybe that's something I can adapt and use for the next assessment as well. So if I were to focus on the sophistication of planning solution for the next assessment, and then focus on the response to the climate, then I can start to, and the technical information of course, then I can start to bump up these grades and then work on these same ones that are already doing well, and I can just start to slide these up and just use this criteria as a criteria set for my next assessment. So that's why I don't really care what my grade was here so much, because this is just a stepping stone into the next assessment. So I do tick all the boxes of the strengths. Very engaging presentation. Good to see you capitalize on the digital format to demonstrate your video production skills. I thought that was, I think that's a cool comment, because I did spend a lot of time on the video. Very strong concepts, which have been translated into physical ideas. The well-developed site planning, formal expression of your hat, and structural investigations show a creative and persistent process. However, the landscaping around your hat and planning to suggest the habitation of your spaces needs more development, and that is correct. That's what I was saying about my master plan. I didn't give that a whole lot of thought because I was a bit confused with the whole brief and everything like that with this coronavirus going on, but I'm not going to blame that. I'm just going to use that for my next assessment. He says he looks forward to seeing my design concepts integrate more closely with the landscape while creating an inviting shelter and engaging roofscape. So that's something I can work on. Some of the improvements, so display the iterative process. Attempt multiple design solutions. Okay, that's interesting. I guess that's what I'm doing now, is starting to move on to some different designs, but that's definitely something to consider. So then it's just talking about in regards to the roof, how people walk on it, how do they actually engage with the building? You know, what is that experience actually inside the building or on the roofscape? And then he goes to mention that I started to build a form up of the design before choosing a material, and he would have liked to see a few more different options coming out of that from the sketch design and model making process, which I can agree with. It felt as if there was some restraint due to the software that could have been busted open by the model making or sketching. That is a great point. I did spend a lot of time in Rhino just trying to play around with that, and did have some troubles with it. So I think having sketches, having model making as part of the process would have been very handy, rather than just getting straight into Rhino. And then he lastly just goes to mention that as I develop my planning in more detail, consider how it responds to the climate and what is the role passive design principles might play. So all in all, I'm happy with that assessment. I've gotten some good feedback from it. I've got the grade that I expected to get. I didn't expect to get any lower. I didn't expect to get any higher. And I think that's kind of something important worth noting. I guess you can have your expectations for the grades you're going to get, but the grade isn't as important as the feedback. And I know a lot of my friends would have just gotten to this first page here, seen their grade, and just exited out of the page and just left it at that. They would have never opened up the feedback sheet, which I think is just an incredible waste, because now I've got all this information about how I can make this next assessment better and push these ticks to the other side. So all in all, I'm happy. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this feedback. As you can see, I'm not perfect. A lot of people think that I'm this successful Archi student. That's not why I called this successful Archi student. It's about becoming a successful Archi student, about making you guys into successful Archi students as well. So I'm in no way claiming I'm perfect. You guys have now seen that, and I hope this is helpful. So yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. I think that should be pretty helpful for you guys. So if you did enjoy this, please consider liking the video. It takes a couple seconds, and just make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on the great videos coming out. So hopefully the next video in the series will be of my final project, and you guys will get to see that. So do make sure you subscribe, do make sure you click that bell to get notified, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks guys, take care.